All right, in today's park build, we are going to try to build the Smithsonian Zoo from Washington, D.C. as a dinosaur zoo. So we're following the layout of the real park in the real world, and we're using dinosaurs that have a similar vibe as real animals as stand-ins for the animals in the zoo. And we're using, wherever we can, the population of the real zoo for the population we put in the park. Now, on that topic, we're doing a few little settings here because of this. We're doing unlimited lifespan just so we don't have to deal with replacing animals. Once we get these enclosures set up just perfectly, we can, leave them be. They'll be set up just fine. Similarly, we're turning off juvenile dinosaur maturity. Any juveniles or breed are going to be specifically because the zoo has juvenile animals currently, as far as I can tell, and we don't want them to grow up, right? So that's just being turned off. And then social requirements is being turned off because if we tried to match the real zoo populations with the in-game animals, a lot of them wouldn't work. So this way we can have like some solitary animals and pairs and stuff like that without it disrupting things. All right. And we're going to do an island generator. We're going to do kind of just a big, relatively flat island. Oh shit, I didn't want to do tropical. I wanted to do woodland. You know what? Let me fix that. I'm going to go back. All right, so we're starting on a generated island. This is what it looks like. We're doing minimum water, minimum mountains, because we basically just want a big flat area to build on, kind of like a square map, but I don't want to start with a completely blank flat map, right? So this is the compromise there. We get a little bit of elevation to like play with, giving us, a starting position to actually build a park. That's kind of my logic. Confirm and start. So, yeah, we've even got like a little raised area here. Like I kind of want to build the park. Like the Smithsonian Zoo is kind of built on like a bit of a slope. You like come in on street level up top and it kind of slopes down and around into like the rest of the park. So that's kind of the idea for this plan here. So I'm going to probably pick a spot, raise it up and start there. Maybe this mountain, because that mountain doesn't really need to exist. It's, it is the East Coast US, so it's pretty flat. So I think maybe killing this mountain is a good way to start. So I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get the entrance laid out because I'm going to probably want to build my own park entrance. I have a vision for it and I have to figure out how to make it work. All right. Well, I know this video has only been 2 minutes long, but on stream it's been 2 hours and 45 minutes. And this is what I've built. So this is the kind of the street that cuts through Washington, D.C. in front of the actual zoo. There's like a line of hedges along the sidewalk. And then the actual park entrance, you can walk in on foot, and it's got these like lion statues on either side. And then there's like this zoo sign that literally just says zoo. Just, that's it. Just zoo with like a banner behind it. And then like there'll be turnstiles and stuff like back here or like ticket booths or whatever. And then you get into the zoo proper. And across the street, there's like, this is like right in the middle of town. So there's like a, strip of buildings and some other stuff. So what we've done is we've gone ahead and thrown our amenities here inside of this building here, which I stole off the workshop and made some edits to. This is like an L-shaped plaza building. It's supposed to be kind of a strip mall type thing. So I basically just chopped off one L, patched up the holes in the walls, and then I stripped out the building. This was used to just be a simple attraction. I stripped out the attraction. I put a set of amenities and an entrance in here. That way, we'll see the guests theoretically, if the game decides to work, we'll see the guests actually walk across the crosswalk to enter the zoo. Big if. I have no idea if any of this is going to work because of how much modular stuff is like in the way of where the guests are theoretically spawning from. Right? We've seen much simpler park entrances completely bug out and make it impossible for guests to spawn, unfortunately. Now, I really, really hope this works, because if it doesn't, it really loses part of the vibe. But either way, this is what it's going to look like. So I need to get some other basic stuff in here so that we can at least start making dinosaurs and figure out if the entrance is even going to work. All right, so here's what we're trying for our first exhibit. I have just reset cache. This is the Africa Trail, and this is going to be kind of a safari style sort of exhibit where the different species from the Africa Trail are displayed together, the different herbivores. Now, this is a first draft, right? We got to try and make this exhibit house the animals it needs to house. and then we decorate it only once we know that it's going to work, right? I'm not going to invest a bunch of time decorating this and have it be too small, because that's probably too small, but we'll find out. Let's look at the research tree. Now, we are not using modded difficulty settings. This is the base game star rating stuff. We are using the first draft of my research tree mod, which makes the research tree more difficult. So we've got like increased requirements for medicine and like a bunch of the other little changes we've been talking about in the video and on the stream, including the expanded dig site selection stuff here. One change I did make specifically for this park build is we're going to do humble on everything. Basically starting like right away, which is, am I blind? Confined space. Yes, it's the bird. I couldn't remember. Confined space. I did nerf the, I made the requirements stricter. I just removed the prerequisite for this park. So this is the 3 and 12 is harder than base game. That is what I want this to be in the difficulty mod, but it unlocking right away is the specific change made here. So theoretically, right now, I want 12 genetics, because I would like to do this before we put a single animal into the park. That might be too much to ask for, judging by the spread of scientists. So I'm going to grab you, because we'll need you. And then to unlock Myosora, which I think we're going to do for our first animal, we're going to start with zebras. That's already good to go, so let's get that. And then we can grab other scientists later when we need them. So yeah. I guess I should also highlight the additional expansion here to the front of the park. We got some little turnstiles and like ticket booths that I've edited that we found in the workshop. This whole thing is like one workshop decoration. And then I stripped out some parts of it that didn't fit aesthetically with our build and like opened it up a little bit for more of a walkway. And then we're going with just a Jurassic Park Visitor Center in place of the Visitor Center from the real zoo. And we put our backlot buildings here behind it. And we put the shelter and this custom bathroom over here. Just kind of in this like open area where they have like a lot of like little stands and stuff. And we've got just this one little decorative food cart to start with, but we'll expand more on this later. We just invested a lot of time decorating or generating the exhibit part here, like the front entrance. So I didn't want to like build all this up as well. It's getting pretty late. Catch you later, Mutasaurus. Thanks for coming by. So, yeah, we can get the expedition going now for Maya, the good mother herself. And maybe while that is happening, we can think about how to approach the scientists. I think I should really just make the push for Humble. I'm willing to like reset the cash flow if we bottom out here in the beginning, because this isn't that kind of park. I just wanted to put the research mod in just to have it. But like, I'm not gonna, it's still sandbox, right? We can just reset the economy at will. And I am just probably gonna do that. Faster extraction. I could take you. How many can we put on Humble? 5, okay. I mean, let's grab, where'd she go? Here, you. And then we'll wait a little bit. We'll have her do the fossils and stuff, and then we'll grab the rest after that. Yeah, 8 minutes for new ones. All right, here's our first batch. I suppose the other thing to consider is like, you know, how much is it going to take to like actually finish the Myosora? This is 67% only if we have that one in there. So that's another consideration. I think we should probably just go 100 genome on this, which is also going to take time and money, and we're going to be bleeding while that happens. I think I'm just going to go whole hog. We're going to do 100% genome, we're going to do Humble, and we're not going to worry about it. I will sell the fossils rather than hoard them, because that would be a little cheap. But yeah, I mean, we have to go back a third time. Like, that's pretty rough. All right, here's what we ended up with her scientist shopping around a little bit. We let him reset. I was too afraid to re-roll because we got a 4 and a 3 on the reset, which is enough to get us there. So these 4 get us confined space. We also should have enough welfare to hatch here. And it finished this like random welfare contract to keep our economy slightly more afloat. But again, we're just going to reset if it becomes a problem. So
I couldn't be certain that joining this.
all right. So our zebras. Let's look at this. So this is the whitest skin. Now, are zebras considered black with white stripes or white with black stripes? I feel like they're white with black stripes. Yeah, because they have like white under the belly, right? So the stripes are the limited part. So it should be that. Like that's as zebra as we can get. Let's favorite these. Let's just make sure that is the only real option. And the big reason, like, this is zebra enough that it makes me content. But I also just like the vibe of a hadrosaur as like a horse, essentially. And so this is the most zebra-like of the hadrosaurs, especially when you go to quadrupedals, right? So yeah, and we're gonna have some males. There are some males in the herd, so we'll do that. Should I do social? I mean, they're already 50%. I guess we can. I guess we can leave it. Get a nickel for every AI generated app you've gotten recently. You'd have enough coins to break your neck. Yeah, it's all dog shit out there. And then, yeah, some zebras come off as a little red if they're rolling in the dirt. Now, do we want to try and do like a little bit of a reddish mix? Like we could do this alongside the white ones for ones that are dirty. Zebras are black with white stripes. I don't believe you. We could do both technically, right? Because like you could do this. This doesn't look as right to me. Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. What is the consensus? All right, we're just gonna go. So yeah, zebras are considered black with white stripes for like some actually fairly complicated like developmental reasons. So I guess we'll go black with the white stripes, which thankfully is still an option. At least like the underbelly and like the head is still white here with the black skin, so it's still got a pretty good vibe that more or less matches the idea of what I would expect it to look like. And I think the male is a little bit better actually, as far as like zebra aesthetics go, so it's fine. We'll probably have 2 batches of these ultimately. Oh, I need to do one thing quick. I need to turn off research temporarily because I do have the male unlock modded to be late. So, you know what? Let's do this. Research off. And then synth them, and then we turn it back on after we hatch them, right? Which, since fossils are still on, this doesn't really mess anything up, really. As long as we don't go to, like, the fossil menu and actually do something, right? Should be fine, right? Probably. Yeah, there's a little bit of orange on them, so, like, we don't really need the dirty variant. They do have a little bit of orange outlining the stripes. It kind of works. All right, here's our first batch. So 2 males, 2 females, and then we need 1 more male. We've got confirmed names for 5 adult zebras in the park. So we're going to actually nickname them after the real zebras. And so we're matching the genders of the animals to the actual zebras. That's the idea here. You're going to need a rest soon, so maybe I do these 3 on both hatches. All right, let's get this one going right away. It's the last one. This is the final male. 222. Get these guys out. All right, so Maiasaura number 1. This is the first male. So we can name this after the elder Hartman's zebra from the zoo, which is Rogan. Then we've got number 2, which is the elder female. Why did we make you Zolani? Number 3 is the other female. So you can be Mackenzie. And number 4 will then be the Grevy's zebra, the only one I could find a name for. So this would be Moyo. Okay. And then let's get them settled in here. Okay, yep, that's coming along all right. So the Humble does incredible work here. This is maybe a social one, so yeah. We gotta consider that too, but... Alright, the enclosure might be big enough for like the populations I kind of envision having here. It actually might be pretty good. While we have research turned off, the nests are also modded, so let's get a nest in here. And breed our 1 juvenile zebra that should be in the park, which is an unnamed female. We're going to do a breeding program to use the correct 2. So these are medium nest. We're going to delete the nest afterwards, so I'm not going to worry too much about the nest aesthetics. So literally just going to have it here only for the purposes of the breeding program. So the pair is Rogan plus Zolani. 1% success rate. Yeah. Yeah. We can do... Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're already cheating with sandbox settings. We can just do breeding failures off, right? Where is that? Dinosaur breeding normal guaranteed. There we go. Okay. Rogan, Zolani. We need 2 for that? Damn. Okay. Maybe we delete that temporarily. We get the other one hatched, and then we do the breeding. Alright, we got our other last zebra here. This one is the younger adult, I guess you would say. Can I get you to actually show me your name tag, sir? Sir? There we go. So this guy was born in like 2021 or something. It's another child of Rogan, but we're not gonna breed him because he's full-sized essentially now at this point, right? We're only gonna have the actual young foal as the juvenile. So even though this guy is the younger one, he's still, you know, gonna be a full-size adult and not directly related to his father, but in our hearts we know he is Rogan's son. Yipes. So all right, let's get the nest now that we have everybody back. So this was medium. Let's create the breeding plan with Rogan and Zolani, we said, right? Start the program with the scientist on you. And then just because I don't want to risk, like, I don't know if they can, like, snipe out the nest. While the program is going, I'm going to go ahead and contraceptive everybody else as a precautionary measure. All right. And then this will take 1 minute. Do we have any guests spawning into the park? How disappointing! My meticulously crafted park entrance doesn't seem to work. Maybe if we reload, but I'm not optimistic. What if we do... Okay, let's do this. I haven't saved yet the stream, so let's save. You know, 4.5 hours into it. We'll save the Smithsonian Park for the first time all stream, because I like to live dangerously. Okay, what if we kill the door? Okay, but then they can't... Okay, what if we kill all this? I'm just trying shit, man. I'm just trying stuff. Like, the door should not be a problem, but I don't know which thing actually breaks the entrances from working. So, like...
Attention personnel.
Maybe we need to close it, let it go for a second, and then open it. We're really reaching here.
The park is opening and guests will be arriving shortly.
All right, 4 eggs, 1 minute. Then we can switch out. Get rid of the ones that don't meet our requirements and breed again if we have to. Maybe saving before the breeding program would have been a good idea too. I don't know if the eggs were after we saved or not. Well, this isn't going to work. Let's just put it back. God damn it. Maybe if I put his entrance in somewhere else, there'll at least be people walking to the shops. Might have to try that. Now, the babies are as stripy as they're going to get, I guess. Oh my god, camera, calm down. Yeah, this isn't something that should be a problem. I agree completely. It's the legendary two-sided Maiasaura. It's like perfectly aligned. Biblically accurate Maiasaura. Incredible. Humble, tolerant, social's pretty good. Nope, that's yipes. So humble, social, humble, tolerant, social, humble, tolerant, social, humble, tolerant. So 9 is probably the worst. They are almost all females. So I can do 7 or I can do 8. Who is more zebra coated? 8 or 7? I think they're the same. I think this is the only one that looks different. All right. Well, obviously these two are conjoined twins. So like, oh, I don't even have a ranger station. So obviously we got to get rid of both of them, right? Because they're connected. So this is probably the one that survives. So you become untitled female juvenile. So I guess, yeah, this one has not been named as of this writing. All right, let me get a ranger team in here quick. All right, second up, Warthog, Protoceratops. This is actually going to be our stand-in, I think, for essentially every pig. Because there are 2 kinds of pigs, hogs, whatever, in the Africa Trail. There's Warthogs proper, then there's some other red pig. So maybe we do both. We're also keeping juvenile number 7, because it turns out 8 is skittish. So I might as well keep 7, which is a perfect juvenile. And we'll clear out the nests now. I don't have any plans for any other juveniles in this exhibit. Where did my juvenile, my actual one, end up? There. Okay, there's 7. I wish the juveniles were quadrupedal, but, like, it's fine. It's probably more reasonable for a juvenile hadrosaur to be bipedal. That might even be accurate. I mostly wish they were quadrupedal for this park build. Where they're horses. That's a horse! Of course. Alright, that research is done. Let's get the expedition going. Protoceratops. Let's do you, actually, since this is a... We don't have a staff center in yet. This is our parking lot, by the way. Off of the ranger station. I'm probably going to put the... I'm thinking...
Creating something amazing is a job.
Thank you.
100 smaller tasks.
None of these are good. I'm just going to take that so he stops yapping. I am thinking that we should have our... There's like 3 parking lots spaced out around the edge of the park like this, basically. I think each of them should have one of the maintenance buildings, one of the vehicles. So parking lot plus ranger, parking lot plus medical, parking lot plus maintenance. So I might just like toss maintenance and the like medical over here somewhere, maybe. Maybe just off of this road as a placeholder until we get to that part of the park, and then we'll move them in. But we definitely need to get them in so that we can, like, you know, do maintenance and treat our animals. So I'm going to do that right now. All right. Some eggs are very nice. We will take some egg. Get a decent chunk of proto going there. Let's take a second and do staff upgrades now. Oh, no, you start with... Wait. Oh, yeah, no, staff center is still on a different note. Yep, okay, yep, correct. Cool. We do that, and then we do more Protoceratops on you. And then we can get the staff building in. I might just slap the staff building in kind of somewhere out of the way. And definitely as we continue to expand and decorate the park, we move around some of these buildings. Like I put in a hotel here, and this is essentially just a placeholder just to get the hotel in so that we can get ratings up a little bit and start properly making money, you know? Because we didn't actually have to like reset the economy yet, other than when we started and we reset it back to, you know, 3 million or whatever. So, and yeah, we got these buildings over here across the road as placeholders with the sidewalk conveniently concealing the path. Which maybe the sidewalk is why the guests don't spawn. Who really knows? All right, first disease outbreak of the thing. Damn it, rabies. Okay. Well, it's a zebra, so you know what? At least it's a mammal, conceptually, sorta, in a way. Oh, it's the baby got it? The baby's rabid? Oh, man. We have income tax enabled and cranked, actually. I didn't mention this. I said we weren't playing with increased difficulty. That's not true. We're not playing with increased difficulty on these park rating metrics, but income tax is separate from that, and income tax is cranked. So it just kicked in a little bit ago, actually. So we'll have to see how much of a difference that ends up making. Yeah, right now we're at 40. Sorry, our expenses is 64, 40 of which is income tax. Not the child? It is the child. Or are you saying, oh no, not the child? And then, yeah, let's take a look at rabies here. So, the new requirement for rabies is 9 welfare. So I basically bumped all these up by 1, and then I cranked up the, how many animals you have to medicate on these. So 20, 10, 20, and 25 is what I went with. So the inoculations are now much more difficult to unlock, and these are just a little bit more expensive. These are more expensive too, if I remember correctly. And then these ones I just made slightly more expensive. I didn't make you disinfect multiple feeders. That'd be insane. So yeah, we need the 9 welfare, which we do not have. So we're going to have to go shopping. We have a 3. That would give me 9 if I had Ghazali back. He was altruistic. That's all right. We have points too, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's just do this. Yeah, okay, fine. Have another point. I lose much money. That's fine. Medicine. By crank, do I mean over 60%? Yeah, it tops out at 90% income tax. We did 85 in a park build previously, and it was still fine. So I went with 90% income tax in this. We'll see how that plays out. Oh, because this guy's on the expedition. Yeah. Do I want to do this? I think we should do this now. 4 and 7, 3 and 8. So yeah, I guess I do you. Screw it. And I need the 4 logistics. So yeah, I wasted that because I can't do it without the expedition guy. Which is back in 6 seconds. What am I doing? Oh my god. Increased staff salary is not a thing yet? Damn. Like, from putting points in? Or... Because I really didn't pay attention actually to the salary level. Or are we talking as like a challenge condition? Like, because you have the challenge modes, right, with the increased salary requirements? Specific maps. Alright, so that's back. Now we can actually do the rabies, even though I overcommitted points. I don't have the money, because I overcommitted points. It's 500k, because it scales. Because I increased the... Do we think that's excessive? I probably have to turn these down. 500k is a little bit too much. The overall staff salary, the challenge condition, I gotcha. It probably is in this game. We can probably just turn it on, right? Yeah, I feel like 500k for a disease treatment's maybe too much. Although, like, I don't know, it's not being able to treat because you didn't save money is kind of like a proper lose condition, right? Maybe I just roll with this. Maybe we just try to make this work. We also might have money in the banana stand, and by that I mean eggs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do that. Let's try not to reset the economy. Let's just try and play it out. Like, not just here, but in general. Rabies should be the most dangerous and hard to research disease. You know what? I'm kind of with you on that. Should we crank rabies even more? So that, like, early game, if you get a rabid animal, you just got to get rid of it? I kind of like that idea. That, like, early game rabies is just that animal's essentially dead. You just got to let it die or rewild it. That could be kind of neat. Because rabies is really limited. Like, you never get rabies outbreaks, you get individual instances of rabies. I really like this idea. We're just going to roll with what we got here, but I think I'm going to crank it up even further. I think I'm sold on that idea. Medical, are you ready to go? No, because I can read the number. I got distracted. I did not notice when we got to $1 million, but it did happen, apparently. Okay, so 36 and 64. So I should have processed fossils between... before the dig site was back when we had 2 left over, but I decided not to. Are you doing it? Maybe we need to wake him up and get him out of the soup so that it can target him. Because I'm not sure it's working. Imagine if this actually drowned the dinosaur. Like if sedating an animal into a puddle of water actually killed it. That'd be kind of interesting. You got a class to teach soon? Alright, good luck with your class. Is the helicopter also struggling to dart him? Okay, he's good. It actually seemed to have worked. It just took 7,000 darts. Great. So I heard them announce a hurricane is coming. That's surprising to me, given that... I mean, like, you can have a hurricane, like, reach up the East Coast. Like, you can get the remnants of a hurricane into DC. It's just not going to be, like, a full-blown hurricane, right? It's just going to be a rainstorm burning itself out. Thought rabid animals are afraid of water? Not in this game. They just, they're angry at fences. That's what rabies does. Look at all these people. I sure wish we could see them out in the park proper. We should probably get the shelters open here.
Ladies and gentlemen, please beware of flying debris. Proceed to take cover until the hurricane has passed.
Oh no. Not more ailments. I can't afford to research more vaccines. Please. Oh no, it's a proper outbreak. Okay, hold on. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Tuberculosis. Okay. Oof, coming right off the back of rabies like that? God damn. Alright. I kind of like this, though, because, like, you're kind of forced... Like, you can't just rush animals out nonstop. Like, you gotta, like, chill. Like, in this early game window, when a disease can, like, just kill you, you gotta, like, make sure you're able to cover that first. Like, it actually requires planning a little bit, and I appreciate that. Hey, those are zebras. I don't know what you're talking about, Rugops. Of course they're susceptible to rabies. They're zebras. Okay, so these guys are warthogs, right? Not lifespan, humble. Now, here's the question. What color would you say a warthog is? Like dark gray to brown, I guess? And then in the zoo itself, they have a second hog, which is a red river hog. So we could have these red hogs too, maybe. We just make them all this. I think we'll do it that way. I think we'll mix and match, right? So maybe we have like that's a warthog color to me, I would say. That's a warthog color. And then we have like the redder river hogs. Maybe this guy. So these three, maybe. And then in terms of like patterning, it's just spots. So maybe we just put like the black spots on them a little bit. And then what would the males look like? So we did Yukon, Limpopo, and the red. Red, the Limpopo. And then for the black, it'd be like that. I think that's reasonable. I think the black, like, I think that works. So random favorite, stick with the Paparana. Random favorite, stick with the Paparana. Now, I don't know how many warthogs are supposed to be in the park, and I don't know how many of the other piggies are supposed to be in the park. We can't synth these yet anyway. So I'm probably just going to put a batch out and call it good. Actually, let me check the red pigs. Maybe there's some info about them here. The Red River hogs. How do you keep animals cool in the heat? Bringing the zoo to you, April 2022. I could check some articles and find out if we know anything about the actual hog population of the park. Alright, we are good to reopen the park, though. We just got to finish up this research, and then we can get the hogs. What's Bob for snacks with Bobby, our Red River hog? So maybe they only have one Red River hog named Bobby. So we got one female hog named Bobby. At least. Okay, I think I might do that. Okay, well, we need to get in here and take care of this. At least we don't have that many animals, so I just was kind of sleeping on it. All right, let's synth these guys. Yeah. Still have $1 million after that. Medical's arriving. Just in time. Right. So here's how I think we'll handle this. Right. We got... Oh, yeah. We currently can't breed males. So maybe I'm okay with that. Maybe we just take these 3 females, and this is Bobby because it's the red one. And then later we could add some more. All right, and then next is our ostriches, which are going to be Struthiomimus. Which is here. So we'll get that going. All right. An injury, you have a concussion. I see. I wasn't expecting a concussion on our zebra, but we'll take care of that. We'll get you taken care of. We'll get you delivered, and we'll be with you in a second, Rogan. I think Rogan got a concussion from too much MMA fighting. All right. Well, we can get our warthogs out to end the episode. And send out our first dig for Struthies, I suppose. Alright, 3 little hogs. They even sound like hogs. They're like perfect warthog stand-ins / Red River hog stand-ins.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome.
You idiot. Nancy, what the fuck? Nancy, seriously? 500K medical bills? All right, we're not a bastard, right? We would pay the medical bills for our employees. Take half my money, Nancy. God damn it. All right, Bobby the Red River Hog. Bobby, there you are. All right, and you guys need ground leaf and cover. So we'll put a little bit of trees creeping in, maybe around here. Maybe not in front of the gate. That always looks a little weird. And then some leaf. Sprinkle a little bit. We should do like reduced intensity. We should like do a little more like blending of everything, maybe. Right, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and then a little bit of fiber, you know, mixed everywhere. And then the seed plants that we removed from the zebras can go back in. So the seed plants can go back in. I would like the trees, actually, for a little bit of a vibe. Okay, yeah. A little more of an open plain feel as opposed to like a stand of trees in the middle. I think that's good. 3 environmental issues. You'll be fine. Move around further. Go down the hill. You are all humble, are you not? Yeah. You are madder because you are not social. Which is fair, I suppose. We just gotta believe they'll figure it out before they decide to hit the fence. They may not, which is aggravating. That's a problem for another day. You know what? Let's just send out the expedition for Struthi. Should have more yellow grass for the Africa Trail. Maybe, yeah. There's definitely an argument to be made for that. We're gonna do a little more work on this exhibit. Like, this is not all this is gonna be. I just want to get the animals we want in the exhibit in and then see what we're working with. So we'll definitely come back to this. I think, yeah, trying to go with more of like a savanna look to it would be good. Do we have like proper, like, any like decorative trees that really have a good savanna vibe to them? Like, what are those kind of flat top trees called? I don't remember what those are. But yeah, there's maybe some things we can do here. There's also probably people who've made like for some of the plants that don't exist in the game, some people have bootstrapped them together decoratively. So we might be able to also find some interesting decorative trees that people have made out of like pieces of other plants, basically, to decorate with. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think we'll end this episode here, and till next time.